NFL wildcard game between the Ravens and the Steelers this Saturday, January 11th, on Prime Video, with coverage beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And a man that is a part of that broadcast team is Andrew Whitworth, who played in the NFL from 2006 to 2021 with the Bengals and the Rams, is a Super Bowl champion, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award winner in 2021. But I think more importantly, for all big fellas now, he is a fashion icon. I love what this dude wears on Prime Video with the sports jacket and then casually wearing the sweatshirt as well. And he's kind enough to join us right now. Big Whit, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, baby? I appreciate that love. You know, a fashionista. I don't know if I ever thought I'd be known for anything that had to do with clothing, but other than it maybe being too small for me. So it's good days being in retirement, that's for sure.
And you're also a man's man. Like, you don't need to wear the gloves when you're on the road, because I know Tony Gonzalez, you guys give him a lot of crap whenever he wears those mittens, right?
Yeah, you know, offensive linemen, we get a lot of grief, for our body types. But one thing we can handle well is the cold weather. So but I will say this: I'm getting softer in retirement. I've gotten much colder over the last couple of years than I used to. I used to be wearing athletic wear out there in these conditions, and now I'm bundled up a little bit. I gotta increase my toughness level, that's for sure.
Well, I'll just say this. So Tony came on the show before the start of the season, and one of my producers was calling him out for wearing the gloves when it's really not that cold. And he said, I'm going to continue to wear the gloves. My analytics show that he did not wear the gloves at all this year. So I think we're getting to him. I think everyone's getting to Tony. We're in his head.
He's been working, man. He's been toughening himself up. I think I don't remember him, complaining that much about the cold this year. So you know what? I think it's working. Everybody's put a little pressure on him, and he's rising to the challenge. I mean, look, the guy's good at everything. So we at least had coldness to pick on him about, but now we're losing that.
Andrew Whitworth here with us. All righty, so your game, Steelers and Ravens. Let me start you off with the Steelers, right? Russell Wilson has been fine this year, but I don't know if I'm committing a long-term contract to him. Justin Fields, he was okay to start the season, then they benched him. Do you expect either of these guys to be the starting quarterback next year for the Steelers, or then maybe they go elsewhere this offseason?
Well, I think it'll be an interesting offseason for them to make a decision there, because you really look at it either way, they've got to make some commitments. But I think, when you look at this season and really how it's gone, I don't know that either one's been really the better one. I know people, just because Russell had a hot streak there when he came in and played, and there was a little elevation of the offense, really the long term, what you've seen out of this offense is they've both got 6 games under 20 points. Like, it hasn't been some great offense either way. And so I think when you really look at some of the things they've struggled with, it was one of the reasons I was a little hesitant on moving to Russell, is like the red zone. I mean, this team was going to be built on playing great defense, running the football, ball possession. Like, hey, we're gonna possess the ball all game. We're gonna play great defense, and when we get down the red zone, you're gonna have to defend Justin Fields just like you do everybody else that's a running quarterback. And so we're gonna be able to do different things that put you in a tough position defensively. All 11 are gonna have to be accounted for. And then they've struggled. I mean, as Russell's been able to throw the ball, and he's had some success with the deep ball at times this season, but when they get to the red zone, they've really struggled. And so to me, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Mike Tomlin does it to us again and adds a wrinkle. Do we see more of Justin Fields in this game in some of those situations, and have some packages in now that he's healthy, just to add an element that gives them some boost on offense?
Yeah, I'm just curious here, just to throw out 2 names that could be available this offseason. If, let's say, things don't go well for Monday night with Sam Darnold and the Vikings want to go to J.J. McCarthy, and then Aaron Rodgers, if he wants to play next year, but if the Jets don't want him back, do you think Rodgers or Darnold, would it all be intrigue playing for the Steelers?
Oh, I think so. I mean, you look at Arthur Smith and really how this offense is built. I mean, you better run the football, build some play actions off of it. George Pickens being a great deep ball guy. I mean, Aaron Rodgers would obviously love that. So I think that they definitely have an ability that, hey, I don't know why a quarterback wouldn't want to come here that feels like they can go play at a high level, because they've got some pieces, to be able to run the football. They got some good young offensive linemen in the interior. Obviously, the tackles have struggled, and they got to improve there. But defensively, they're also built to stop teams and to play really well, even though you would argue that, hey, people are saying, oh, man, defensively the last few weeks it's not been as good. Well, they've been under stress all season, that they've got to hold people to a certain clip, or they don't have a chance of winning. And when you continue to do that, eventually you're going to leak some. And so there's been too much pressure on this defense all season long. So offensively, they got to get more production and be able to, really put up some more points, give this defense a chance to play from ahead every now and then. And so I think when you look at it, if I was a quarterback and I believe in myself that I can go and have an impact, I would see Pittsburgh as a great spot to go do that.
Andrew Whitworth here with us. Where's the confidence in the AFC? The Chiefs are the standard. Everyone then is going to say if you have to find a way to have someone take them out, it's either going to be Lamar Jackson or it's going to be Josh Allen. Do you have more confidence in Lamar or Josh Allen, or is it kind of the same?
I think both of those guys are incredibly talented. I think when you really look at them, I don't think there's any less confidence in one or the other. I think both of them are a ton of fun to watch and entertaining guys, from every aspect of the game. The things they can pull off are just unbelievable. But I think when I look at the football teams, really what this Ravens team's has really piqued my most interest because of what they've been able to do this second half of the season on defense. I mean, that complete turnaround, all season long they've been great against the run, but in the passing game, they were one of the worst the first 10 weeks of the season, and really since that point they've been one of the best. And so to have that kind of turnaround and now say, all right, we got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, all these weapons and personnel packages we can play with, and then we have a defense that backs it up. To me, they're kind of rounding themselves into one of the most complete teams in the league. And so I really look at them as a team that if they can perform the exact way they have in the regular season, offensively and defensively in this second half, they, to me, could be the team that represents the AFC because they look capable of being able to go into Kansas City, put up points, and then on the other side of it, play really well on defense because Kansas City at times this season has shown us that offensively they are not the team of old.
Who's the team, Andrew Whitworth, that you trust the most in the NFC entering this postseason?
I think to me, if you look throughout the season, I think if you said the team you trust the most, it's the Detroit Lions. Do I think they'll represent the Super Bowl? I mean, they are my pick with the Eagles that I've said all year long. I've gone back and forth on which one I thought it'd be every week. I feel like they changed my mind. But what I think has really been the most impressive is we can talk about injuries for Detroit. We can talk about all these things they've lost, but each and every week, what shows you what is a great football team is whoever you put out there, how do they go out and perform? And every week they are able to put together a plan, go out and execute it, and you keep telling yourself, well, they've lost this guy and that guy, but where does it show up? And you keep trying to make sure you're finding a spot where it shows up because all they do is go out and win and play well. I think that has been really impressive to watch. Where I think it could show up to me is you look at this Philadelphia Eagles team built in the trenches just like the Detroit Lions. The O-line and the D-line are really special football players. And if those two teams match up in the NFC Championship, that's where it could show up to me because then you're going to be talking about, all right, you don't have an Aiden Hutchinson, you don't have some of these guys, and you got one of the best offensive lines in football and a team that's got Saquon Barkley. They have all the weapons on the outside just like you do. And so in some version of, hey, these two offenses are built almost the exact same in the sense of what they're capable of. Now it's going to come down to who has who. And the Philadelphia Eagles are healthier. They've got a better front when you talk about the guys they have available to them. And to me, that could be the moment that's going to be defining to them. Do we start to see some of these things show up? Because now they're going to be playing a team that's built exactly like them and has the capability they have. And then they have the added part of Jalen Hurts and what he's able to do with his legs.
I want to ask you about your alma mater, LSU. I know you won a national championship there. Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU because he didn't think he could win a national championship at Notre Dame. And we know three head football coaches have done so since the early 2000s. Now Notre Dame is one win away from winning it all. LSU is not even in the postseason. When you look at a 12-team college football playoff, 3 years in, where's the confidence level now with Brian Kelly moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, I think this landscape has changed so much. I mean, I was just telling somebody today, college football is obviously been forever changed by a lot of things going on, but even more so now. I think you're going to start to see that because of some of this NIL stuff, much less all the craziness that's going on with money and everything else, it's going to be hard to load up teams like we saw the SEC be able to do, to where they were the spot for everybody to go and all the talent wanted to go there and try to win and compete against the best, and we were going to be better than everybody else. And in the insane run they had to win a national championships. Now I feel like that talent's going to be spread all across the country. And so it's going to be a much more challenging thing to just sit there and say, all right, because of where I'm at, my proximity and where I'm coaching and everything else, I'm going to naturally just get players. I don't think that's the case anymore. So I think the challenge really for Brian Kelly and LSU, much like a lot of teams are feeling, is it's a lot harder to keep players and win than it ever has been in the SEC now. And so, hats off to these teams that represent. I love the playoff format. I think it's been awesome. I know people are going to always complain about who should be in, who should be out. There's always an issue. But to me, it's gotten more similar to NFL in the sense that right now we're sitting here with these 7 teams in each conference that have a chance to go win a Super Bowl, and anything can happen in these 3-hour windows in these games, just like now in college football with this playoff. Anything can happen. A team you might not have thought in the past could win a national championship has that opportunity if they can go put together a stretch of games of playing at their best. So to me, college football is at a great place with that part of it. I just think it's going to be more challenging in the SEC to just sit there and say, because I'm an SEC school and I got a lot of money and it's a great place to go play football, we're going to win. It's a lot more challenging than ever.
And last thing I'll bring up to you, Andrew Whitworth, before we let you run, Vikings and Rams obviously got moved because of the wildfires, and I know that you live in L.A., you're in Baltimore for the game this weekend, but just hope everything's okay, obviously, with you and your family and all the people, obviously, out in L.A., as it's a scary time right now.
Yeah, we are okay. It's been a very scary week. It's been a tough one. It's been a few years now that we've been dealing with fires, even when I was playing for the Rams. And, it's just unfortunate. This week has been, probably one of the worst in the history, and a lot of homes lost, a lot of things lost by a lot of people. And so your heart goes out to them. And at the same time, you're in awe and just grateful for our first responders and the people that were able to, keep the human beings, the people safe. We might have lost a lot of structures, but our people are safe. And we believe a lot in our LA community and the strong, proud people they are. And so we will step by step do our best to be a part of the solution and helping this community build back. And it will take time. But right now we have heavy hearts for all those that have lost something, and just our prayers and thoughts are with them.
Well said. Always appreciate you coming on, and thanks so much and good luck. Appreciate you doing this.
Hey, appreciate you.